All right, so let's go into this reading here. One of the first thing that is coming out here is, once again, the quarrels. We have here the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is a situation where you are going to have to defend your values and your beliefs, okay? This is a card usually when we are pitted against the majority. So I guess, like, in a way, you are the minority holding, a certain values, a certain belief, and a certain ideology. And I do feel that whether or not, this is not about who's right or who's wrong. It's more about finding ways to defend yourself, to defend your domain, and to defend your territory. Honestly, I feel like, especially for those of you who are coupled up, so I have this message, and obviously it's not going to apply to all, but it's echoing the same theme earlier, where I feel like you have to defend your relationship. I don't sense that you have to justify it to other people, but you have to give your partner the benefit of the doubt. So for example, if you hear rumors and things like that, give your own partner, the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like it could be third party, either family, either friends, either, jealous people around that might be coming in, causing problems to stir things up for you. So give your partner the benefit of the doubt, okay? And hash things out, have those awkward conversations, make sure you're getting straight answers, and then, figure out the source of the conflict, figure out who is starting the conflict, figure out what it's really about, what are their motives, and things like that. Because I feel like people's motives are people are a little bit devious. The ones that are coming to you with this, they're a little bit devious, and what you see is not what you get. So I would say try to give your own partner, the people that are closer to your heart, I guess the greater chunk of your attention. Give them the benefit of the doubt first before you entertain other rumors or other, messages that are coming through from third parties that you are marginally involved with, okay? And likewise, if someone has a history of always coming in, causing problems, I do feel that, they're a little bit bullish, like they feel almost as if, they can get you riled up, or they can they feel like they know how to push your buttons. So I feel like this is a month in which you have to defend yourself, where you have to stand up and tell them, you know what, enough's enough. I'm not going to entertain this, so stop, okay? And be very assertive. So assertion, trusting your gut instincts, avoiding, just negative people. If you get a bad vibe from somebody, definitely try to steer clear, ignore if you can, and cease communication if you can, okay? Both of these energies are fire energies, okay? The wands represent the suit of fire, and fire is very impulsive, okay? I feel like the energy that is coming through is a little bit impulsive. So they're not very slick about what they're doing. I feel that you're going to trip them up. That means that when they come in, from a mile away, you already know their intentions and their motives. So they are pretty transparent to you, okay? As a water sign, as a very highly intuitive sign, I feel that all of these warning signs and all of these triggers from a mile away, you will start to feel it, okay? And that means you can walk the other way. You can keep them at arm's length, and you don't have to entertain and engage yourself in this type of a battle. So just keep that in mind. If your sixth sense is ringing true, then try to avoid escalation, okay? So cease communication. Just say that, I'm busy, I can't really talk about this right now. If something makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to really have that conversation, just tell people that I'm unavailable right now. Let's talk about this in 2 weeks. Let's talk about this next month. It is within your rights to do that, okay? So both of these energies are very swift and very fast and kind of unexpected. But I feel like, once again, you're going to get intuition that it's coming in. And I feel like there is really, honestly, no sense of urgency about it. It is within your rights to try to block it out and to try not to entertain it, okay? You don't owe anybody anything. So if you don't feel comfortable having this conversation, say so. And if you don't feel comfortable having this conversation now, give the other person the time frame where you feel like you're ready, or, you know, if you don't want to, just don't do it at all. But I feel like, you know, setting your boundaries and being very clear, like, for example, you know, I have too much on my plate right now. I don't want to have this conversation. It's, I can't have this conversation until like 2 weeks later. So let's touch bases in 2 weeks. And I feel like for a lot of you, this might be in your work environment, okay, where you are going to have to be professional. And like I said, there isn't a sense of urgency associated with it. It's going to feel like there is. You're going to feel like, oh no, if I don't engage, then they're going to think that I'm weak. No, they know how to push your buttons, okay? So do things a different way to get a different result this time, okay? Draw up your boundaries and enforce some type of a separation from yourself and another person if they are trying to engage with you in conflict, all right? So what's coming through as well? We have the Queen of Swords and the Six of Wands. So first of all, the main message combined with these cards here, the Queen of Swords is an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, or somebody that is like serving as a counselor, an advisor, legal counsel, or a person that's giving you some type of technical advice in order for you to secure something in your work environment, to boost your public image, or to achieve some type of a victory in the professional front, okay? So I feel like if it's an Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, they're going to be very instrumental in some type of achievement that you're hoping to get. So for example, court cases, this is going to be like a legal counsel that is giving you valid points, valid guidance, and a sense of direction. Overall, both of these cards involve like a victory over an air sign, okay? So if you have been dealing with somebody that is an air sign that has been very problematic, quite combative, especially at work, I do feel you're going to be able to triumph. So what you do with this cluster is actually very, very important, okay? Be clear, be very, very clear. Give a time frame if you need to. That way, I feel like that way they know where they stand with you. And then I feel like the victory is going to come through. If it's a problematic person in your midst, you're going to achieve a victory over an air sign, okay? But for others of you, it could just be an air sign that you're dealing exclusively with that's going to provide some type of a career boost. It's going to provide some type of a boost to your public image and to your professional image. It could just be, you know, a supervisor who might be an air sign giving you like a very good letter of recommendation, or, you know, someone who is very fond of you on the professional front, and they can give you a leg up in terms of promotion, pay raise, and things like that. I definitely feel for a lot of you, money is really picking up, you know, for the better. Money is really coming through, and money and you know, your public image overall. Career, public image, professional image, and just success on the financial front overall for this month. The next two cards that are here is the Nine of Cups as well as the Devil. First of all, one of the things I'm feeling here is I feel like you're going to have a lot of triumph. For those of you who have been dealing with any type of addiction, okay? So the Devil indicates a situation that has been holding us back because it indicates codependency. This can be addiction to sugar, coffee, chocolate, eating, binging, drinking, any types of addictions that you can, you know, if you name it. with the Nine of Cups here, it indicates a situation where, you know, you are feeling smug. You're feeling like you have options. You're feeling as if you are regaining back your control. And I don't read regaining control for every sign when it comes to the Nine of Cups because, you know, it's ideally the wish card. But I feel because you're a water sign, this is a situation where you are alone in your own battle, but I feel like you're overcoming it, okay? You're coming on top, and I feel like if it's like especially addiction to alcohol, drinking, whatever that has been very negative, it is behind you and you're emerging from it, and I feel like it takes a lot of discipline to get to this point. So linked up with the Devil card, linked up with the Devil card. This is a situation where you feel like your mobility, your freedom of movement, your ability to like exert control or gain control in your own life has been pretty, if it has been problematic for, I would say, the past 5 months, then I definitely feel some type of clearing happening that will allow you to surge ahead and to move on in a very fruitful manner where you're going to feel like you are regaining control. Your foundation is being solidified, okay? And you're overcoming some major, major hurdles in order to get yourself to this point where you're feeling very content, where you're feeling like very strong and in control. What I'm also feeling is I feel like this is a month where a lot of you are going to have to, so especially if you've been dealing with someone who has been bullying you, I feel like you might be seeking legal counsel in order to either, you know, file restraining order against them if someone has been harassing you, if someone has been like behind the scenes kind of slandering you for whatever reason. I feel slander coming through. I definitely feel that you're going to be able to face this situation head on, confront them, and you know, you're not going to shy away from conflict. And I feel like at the same time, you're going to have a massive breakthrough. You're going to realize that, you know, the other person in the past, they have always put me down, made me feel less than, and I never fought back. And this time I just, so I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's like, who's false. And it's also like, you know, their bark is worse than their bite. So as soon as you put your foot down and you demarcate your boundaries, then they get scared and, you know, they back away. So I feel like you're going to be able to face a situation head on, and you're going to realize, you know, that you're a lot stronger, that people can't really, I would say, mess with you that much anymore. Okay. So this is a very, very good combination. I feel a lot of like, this sense of regaining your control, regaining your power. For people who are dating women, specifically for, I guess, Piscean men or Piscean people who are dating women, I feel almost as if you might be caught in between two women, okay? So like a wife and then another person that is trying to break through that relationship. Be very, very careful about this situation because I feel like it's gonna escalate. And especially if you are dating and they're not aware of each other, you want to be very, very careful as well, okay? If they're not aware of one another, I feel like this is not a good situation for you to be in. So just take care of it, you know, appropriately, I guess, okay? So the last cluster we're dealing with here is the Temperance card and the Empress. The Empress card is a situation where you are basically ruling your domain, okay? You're expanding your business, expanding your territory, and taking charge of your own life. I feel a lot of, you know, like, I feel like it's a very high, powerful card for financial security. So if you own a business, if you are working for other people, I feel like you are going out and conquering new lands, conquering new clients, gaining clients over to your side, as well as marking your territory. If you're doing any type of sales, I feel like there might be another company basically like trying to, weasel their way in, other salespeople, I would say, trying to weasel their way into your territory and, trying to steal clients from under you. And I feel like they're doing it in a very covert way. And then your clients will come back and tell you, so-and-so did this and that. And I do sense as well that, you're going to nip the situation in the bud and you're going to establish your territory. So I do see a lot of demarcation, which is great, Pisces. This is something I felt a lot for you guys, especially, towards the end of 2015 and the beginning, here and there, beginning of 2016. So I definitely feel like you are enforcing some rules here and you're telling people that you're not really playing around. And I feel like this is a really, really good energy for you to bring to the table as, that person who does not shy away from conflict, and they want to be, they're not one to be, trifled with. So this is a very positive energy. It's linked up here with the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is all about moderation, okay? Doing things in a way where you definitely can maintain balance and harmony. So like I mentioned before, you don't have to engage in a situation if you feel like it's sort of like picking your battles, you need to say what you need to say to the other person to get your point across, but you don't want to do it in a way where, you cut them down on the spot. And because that will leave room for hostilities to ferment and for retaliation. So be careful about that. Okay. I hope that makes sense. What I'm also feeling with the Temperance card, we're dealing with, like I said, overcoming some unhealthy habits and trying your best to stay clean is what I'm feeling. So I feel like you have some strong energies that are coming through that might deal with, feeling very, very good professionally. But you might also squander your money in a way such as, emotional eating or emotional spending is what I'm sensing. So do things in moderation. Okay. I feel like you guys are making a lot of money this month, and you might be in a situation where you are taking clients out for lunch, for dinner. You might be in a situation where you might overdrink, overindulge. Just make sure that, your professional life and your personal life are not blurred, okay? So if you're dealing with romantic issues and especially family issues at home, just try to not blur those lines and blur those boundaries, okay? We all can be the empress to get what we want, but we have to do it in a way that is fair and that is also moderate, okay? So keep that in mind. In terms of your advice here, what we have are very, very good cards. You've got 3 very solid cards. The first thing here, we do have the Fool, and the Fool is basically charting a new path for yourself, going off on a journey, and having a lot of options at your disposal. A lot of you might at this point be kind of at the peak of your career. You're making enough money where you have disposable income, and you're thinking about, where can I expand my business? Where can I invest? Where can I chart new territory? So for example, if you are a business owner, and I feel some of you might very well be, you might want to think about, you might think oh, I want to buy a chain, or I want to buy a franchise, or I want to build up a new, office, or I want to build a new branch. And you're scoping your territory, you're scouting to see where things are going to, where there's a favorable location for you to do this, to expand something, okay? And with the Fool, there's always a little bit of a warning. So I feel like, once again, do some research. If you are getting, advice from somebody, like unsolicited advice. Someone tells you, hey, you should do this, and they've never done it and they have no expertise in, you know, that field. It would be really foolish to try to, you know, take up their word on it. Okay. So doing your own preliminary research and scoping out that location, meaning going there, physically going there, I do sense that it's going to be really beneficial for you. Okay. And what I also feel here with the Fool is that going back to the first message that I mentioned, okay, if someone has revealed their true character to you, an apology, you know, is an apology. You can forgive, but it doesn't make the situation okay, or it doesn't, you know, it's sort of like that expression. Once you break a plate, right? Even if you were to glue it back together, it's just not the same. So I don't feel that you are indebted to anyone to accept them back into your life, because, you know, friendship, relationships, it needs to be built on trust. So if someone has already revealed themselves, even if they apologize, even if they mean it, their actions in the future, you know, it can only be restored with time. Okay, so don't push for an agenda, and don't go back to a situation that you know is not going to be good for you. Okay. We also have the Ace of Swords with the Fool. And basically, this is kind of like cutting away all of those unhealthy relationships so that you can move on very lighthearted without a lot of emotional baggage and feeling free and unencumbered. So it's basically like clearing out your karmic luggage. Okay, so clearing all of that junk out so that you can move away and be free. For some reason, I'm getting a lot of you a lot of you might be training, might be thinking about doing some type of, I feel like you might want to push yourself to do some type of spiritual retreat, or to do some type of like mountain climbing activities. That's what I'm sensing, because I'm getting here altitude sickness for some of you. So I don't know if you are dealing with that sometime this month. When it comes to altitude sickness and things like that, just be very careful, because it is a real danger and it does come on quite swiftly. So just be careful not to push yourself too far when you are ascending cliff, mountains, or something like that. Okay, so be mindful about fluctuations in air pressure, in humidity as well, because I feel like that's going to affect you. Okay, so you feel like I can push myself to do this, but don't wear yourself out. Moderation is really the key, okay? Because like I said, it seems almost as if there's a sense of urgency for something, but I don't feel it's really there. I feel like you're pushing yourself because you're feeling as if there's a sense of urgency, but I don't sense that it's that urgent, okay? So don't push yourself. I do feel like sun exposure, heat exposure, altitude sickness, especially for those of you who are outdoors, who are pushing yourselves to do something outdoors. Just be careful about that. Hydrate, you know, with water, okay? With water, with electrolytes, replenish yourself, okay? Not with alcohol, but just with water, electrolytes, and things like that. All right. So the last card that comes through here is the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles indicates some type of a family situation that is bringing about a lot of financial abundance, okay? So for some of you, you might be dealing with dividing up assets, okay? Because the Ace of Swords indicates division as well. And then the Ten of Pentacles indicates like wealth that has been accumulated, built up over many generations, over a long period of time. So some of you could simply be, you know, dividing up assets. Some of you could simply be dividing up your portfolios, like sharing clients with another person. If you are thinking about leaving a job, I definitely feel you're doing some type of training new employees, dividing up, you know, among those employees who gets these portfolios from your clients. So I feel like you're in a very good environment environment right now, financially speaking. A lot of you might be thinking about, if you are, at that age where you can retire, I see some negotiations in your work environment for a retirement package. I see some offers coming through in terms of early retirement as well, and you're doing the negotiating. And I feel like it's going to end up really well. And I keep feeling like, especially for those who are real estate people, who are either investors, brokers, or you have investment properties, or you have money right now and you're thinking about buying an investment property or even like a vacation home so that you can rent it out in the so for example, if you want to buy like a little log cabin, you can rent out during the snowy season so that you can get some type of residual income from it. Or you're trying to buy a property in a more tropical environment so that you can rent it out in the summertime to travelers. I feel like this is a really, really good month for you to do this. It's going to bode really well for you. And I do sense as well that some of you might just accidentally go somewhere on a vacation on a very short trip and you're just like, hey, I should buy a property here and use it as an Airbnb, for example, or lease it out, for example. So it looks really good for expansion, for wealth accumulation as well. Okay, so you're in a very, very good space this month, Pisces. And I'm sorry if the reading started out pretty negative, but that was an important message that I had to relay, especially for those of you who are dealing with that. Okay, but everything else looks really good. A lot of it is about cutting out riffraff from your life, moving on, and just like waving things goodbye. I do see peace offering coming through from other people. I do feel peace offering, and I feel like it might be an air sign. Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, peace offering, some type of a peace offering coming through. I feel like, no matter what it is, I think you're best off cutting it out and cutting the other person out, and you're better off just, I forgive you, but, never again. So I feel like that might have been like a karmic type of a relationship to teach you to be a little bit more cognizant of your surrounding, to be a little bit more firm, and to not give your power away or to not let other people have power over you. Okay, so I feel like that lesson that was something that needed to happen so that you can learn this. And now you're a lot more stronger. You're a lot more in control. I would say a little bit more skeptical as well with new people. But I feel like it's a process of growing up. It's a process of knowing your worth. And it's a process of like, only devoting your time, your energy, your niceties to people who reciprocate. Okay, so there's a lot here about gaining back your control and not letting other people affect you on an emotional level. Pisces, I feel like, deep down, you are softies at heart. You are. And I feel like people have taken advantage of you, especially like I feel friends. So I do want you to understand that, I feel like you can be soft. You can deliberate on a situation for a long time because you do feel bad for people. Okay, so it's okay to be soft. But I feel like in dealing on an external environment, especially on a professional environment, it's okay for you to steel up. So I feel like you're reaching a middle ground this month, and it's indicates to me a major growth spurt that's happening, which is great. I always like to see that.